with the new campaign that was just launched, 8,600 leads, you know, in 24 hours. And I have to stop as well because I've seen that happen before, and I've achieved results better than that before. But I know what that would feel like for you guys as well to go 8,600 leads in a day. Like, I mean, that's crazy, right? Because when it first happened to me, I was just like, the world's fucking raining.
There has been
60 leads in
275 comments.
60 leads in a minute.
Oh my god. This is organic.
It's 88 leads.
Hey, you told us organic was dead.
It's dead if you don't know how to do it, that's what it is. When back in the day, when we launched a free meal plan, we had 12,564 leads overnight. It was crazy, dude. Like, it was just like 165 leads in 2 minutes.
This is insane.
How many followers have they got?
150, but probably.
But a very engaged
It's
audience.
So engaged, it's unbelievable.
Dude.
I
It's had 210 leads now.
Your computer's steaming, bro.
Should be at home, but I'm too addicted to results. I've seen it many times, so it's an exciting thing though. The first time I ever did it, when we generated we generated 20,000 leads in a week. Oh, my thing was bing, bing, bing. My Mac mail was sending 30 emails at once in one, as like just a list, because it couldn't keep up with the single. It was crazy. So we're currently at, so we were 210, 334, well, there's 360 in 5 minutes. My job is to hit refresh and update everyone. 375. We just launched a new campaign for a client. Currently 481 contacts in the last, so in 9 minutes, 11 minutes was the test note. So 9 minutes ago, 520 new leads for one of our CMG clients. It's good, that is good. 540, just jumping like a beast.
Dang.
693. Watch a refresh. 1132 refresh. 1144
God.
refresh. 1147. That's not fast enough now. 1150. This is what happened when we launched a product, but that was dollars, you know. And I was, what? It's a different story when it's dollars, but you can look at this, 1161. It's going up in 10 leads a second. 2.7 thousand comments in 30 minutes. That's what it'd be like to be The Rock. Imagine that, like every time you post, you feel The Rock. That happens. That's just normal. So 2,700 comments. We're basically picking up 50% of people who comment. That's huge. Haven't seen that in a while. Have not seen it in a while. So yesterday afternoon we started a new campaign for a client. I came into the office this morning. Admittedly, when it started, you know, I was hitting the refresh button. You know, in the first hour or so we generated a couple of thousand leads, and then came in this morning, hit the refresh, and you could take a look. So in the first, well, less than an hour, we had 2,200 leads come through. Just refreshing the screen right now overnight. We have had 7,636 leads overnight. Not bad at all, not bad at all. You know, over 7,000 leads overnight. It actually took me back to the old days, which is interesting, 2012, when we did something of similar nature, and I generated 12,564 leads in a 24-hour period. So I don't know if that's going to get beaten. We'll soon see if that gets beaten. But from a reach and a impression level, it's going to come certainly close as well. But at the end of the day, it comes down to how many leads. But then what do you do with those leads? That's it. Anyone can have a database of 50,000 leads, but what's the point if you're not being able to take them from a lead to a customer? This one funnel to so far. Drum roll. 7,969, so we've almost cracked 8,000. So we've got about 4 hours before if we can hit the 12. I don't know, it's gonna be tight. But the interesting thing about all of that is it's organic, so it all came organically. And we have a specific strategy around how we do that. Can't reveal all the ace cards to you, but it's exciting to be able to see that, you know, and it brings me back to this whole conversation that I've sort of been on this, you know, wave over the last couple of months is what's happening with organic. You know, is organic Facebook worth doing? Should I still be doing it? The reality is, yes, you should still be doing organic. It just comes down to what are you posting? Is it newsworthy? Is that post, if it was the last post your brand would ever be known for, is it worthy enough? Which that in itself can sidetrack some people that go, oh, I just can never create a good enough post, so I won't do one. The cold hard line is you should still be doing organic. You need to have a specific, did I say specific?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounded like Pacific to me.
Nailed it.
You need to have a specific strategy in mind for organic and of course paid. The thing is not to rest on your laurels. You know, something might work organically, and some businesses are getting some great organic reach, some great organic traffic. So they don't think that they should be paying for the traffic. It's like, well, it's like the poker player. You can go and play at the $1 or $2 table, or you can go and play at the $1,000, $2,000 table. It's a different game, it's a different ballpark. If you don't want to scale your business and you want to remain small and just service a few people, that's cool. You don't really need Facebook advertising. You could potentially do it organically. But the reality is over the coming months, everyone's going to need Facebook advertising if you want to play on the Facebook platform. Yeah, you should definitely know who you are as a business. You should know your brand. You should know your customer better than they know themselves. I mean, all the same stuff I've been talking about. But if you understand your customer better than they know themselves, you're able to speak in the terms and you're able to provide what it is that they really want, not what you think they need. You know, I talk about this in my event, my Authority Academy events, where we talk about creating a movement. 4 key components to starting a movement. Providing a plan. What do you advocate for? What do you define and unify, and what do you defend against? Gone are the days of just knowing who your avatar is and that's it. We need to really come in and create what's the collective vision, what's the collective mission, the movement, the working pieces, so that someone goes, yeah, I belong to that, yeah, I'm a part of that, yeah, I believe in that. You just got to find out what the customer really wants, but then really give them what they need. You know, what does the customer actually advocate for? What do they defend against? You've got to know all of these things. You know, you've got to understand your customer. And for me, going through the health and wellness industry, going through the expert space industry, the IM industry, is I've been able to be very successful because I know my customer very, very well. Why? Because I am my customer. So it gives me a little bit of an unfair advantage. But if you are not your customer, then you need to find someone who is your customer and just grill them, you know, take them through a 10-hour interview and find out every single thing, what makes them tick, what makes them get excited. And you just got to know, you got to do your due diligence. Instead of just throwing your money out there on Facebook hoping, oh, I hope this is going to return. Like, that's just it's a pathetic strategy. They need to see another video. What does that video say? Or do they need to see an ad now with a call to action? If it is, what's the call to action? What's the offer? Why are they having that offer? You know, so it's really working out, you know, I call it the matrix. You've really got to work out the matrix. The real value in any campaign is in the strategy. Like, it's not hard. You can go and put a Facebook post right now in any of these Facebook groups out there and say, I'm looking for someone to run ads for my clinic, and you will get, I guarantee you, 100 personal messages from people going, yeah, I can run ads. And then it'll be like, oh, what's everyone else charging you? Oh, I'll do it for 2,000. Oh, I'll do it for 15. Oh, I'll do it for 1,000. It's like, the hard part is not setting up an ad. The hard part is setting up an ad that congruently migrates itself with a very well thought out strategy. The word productivity gets thrown around very, very loosely, and not many people really understand what productivity is. You know, I've done a lot of study in productivity. I've tested and trialed a lot of methods, and just because something works for me, it doesn't mean it's going to work for someone else. Productivity is not just, you know, from an employer perspective, it's not just about trying to micromanage your team. It's about helping them become the most effective, helping them work to deadlines, helping them understand where they are right now and how long they're going to be in what they're doing, you know. So really taking a thoughtful approach towards planning your day, planning your week, you're gonna get the most out of anyone, yourself especially, and that's what it's all about for me. You know, one of my biggest things that I'm trying to impart onto the team is how can we become more diligent? How can we get more done in less time? How can we get better results with less ad spend? So it's always about, can we get better with less? And coming down to planning and managing your day is super crucial. You know, with my book here right now, I've got the Right Now Daily Planner, and that's sort of an evolution of different plans over time. And it's even evolved from what it is now. A lot of people like working on diaries or pieces of paper. Some people like digital. I think if you are a paper person, having digital can actually bolster that process. And a lot of people are afraid of change. They'll go, nah, I'm good. I do my to-do list and I just tick it off as I go throughout the day. But your to-do list is only as good as your to-do mind, because what will naturally happen is you'll gravitate to the most favorite thing on your plan. And I've done it myself, I see it, and I see it with so many students is they'll have a list of all these things, great, first step done, and then they'll go, oh, I'm gonna go straight to number 6 because I like that or I enjoy that. And I'll spend more time here because I really enjoy it and it makes me feel good. The reality is productivity's got nothing to do with how you feel, it's about what are you getting done. You know, there's no way around it. It's like you gotta set each task in your business as though it's an appointment. I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna not call someone if I've booked an appointment. I'm not gonna not show up for a meeting if I've booked a meeting. So you need to set meetings with yourself all day. Even down to I need to email this person. The reality is we're always working, we're always striving. And I had something in my calendar where I had 6 a.m. gym, and I just put it on auto repeat. And this is where technology can fail you, or you can fail technologies. I just go, cool, let's put that on auto repeat. Calendar looks nice, I got 6 a.m. gym every morning, but I wasn't going every morning. I might go in the afternoons. And you know, what it was doing was I was setting myself up for failure from day one, because I wake up and, oh, didn't go to the gym today, haven't ticked off the first thing on my list. Right, so you've got to be very methodical about what you're planning and why you're planning, and does that fit in? If you're not working off an actual time schedule and you're not trying to improve, then what's the point? You're just wasting your time, your employer's time, your client's time, whoever's time. Because I look at it like this, right? The most important thing that we have on this planet is time, that's it. That's all we've got that is equal, you know? Our bank accounts aren't equal, our opportunities aren't equal, but time, we all have 24 hours. How you decide to spend that time is the most important part. I cherish 5 minutes extra or 10 minutes. So if I have set a meeting and most people go, we'll just allow an hour. It's like, why an hour? Do you need an hour? Oh, I just do it because it's a standard meeting sort of. It's like, no, if you need 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you book that and then you book something else after it. Because guess what? It'll make you finish your meeting in 15 minutes. So be more diligent with your time. That's what I'm saying. Speaking of time, time's up. Right, the way you retain information is by executing upon what you learned. So you learn a tactic and you actually go out and action it, and you action it again and again until it becomes a default. Who's ever read a page in a book and you're like, what the f did I just read? Because you've read the word, but you haven't actually sunk in what it actually is and what it means and the thing behind it. It's just a real quick hack of how to learn is, learn something as if you have to teach someone at the end of what you've like the time allocated. So let's say you got an hour for Adobe Premiere Pro. So you go and tackle that. Your mindset going into it is, I have to teach someone at the end of it. Like in an hour, I have to teach someone what I've just learned. Because you tackle things and you take things in, you process it in a different format than you would if you're just, I've got an hour to go through this. When you're reading a book, get into the mind frame of you have to interview the author in 2 hours and you need to understand as much as you can about the book so you can have a conversation with this person, right? You'll be able to retain so much more information. Yeah, I was working at home and managed to launch the, so that's exciting. You know, that's been, again, we first connected with them probably back in November or just before that. We had our first meeting with them at the Melbourne airport as we were flying out from Melbourne back home. You know, we had a meeting, 3 of them turned up, we're in the Virgin Lounge, we're sitting there, we're going, yeah, we're going to be able to sell courses and do this and do that. And we obviously had our first official sale yesterday, which is exciting to see. Really looking forward to getting that campaign moving and some momentum behind it. So that's a massive highlight. And like I said to you guys in the room the other day, this client is not just a client where we want to get results for them. we know that this is getting results for their clients. You know, that this is a very meaningful client in what we can do and really help change something significant in the world that we can look back and go, I had a part of that, I played a part in that. And this is with all of our clients as well, you know, is stop and take time to go, you know, we're actually helping people out there. With the new campaign that was just launched, 8,600 leads, you know, in 24 hours. You know, I can understand, and I have to stop as well, because I've seen that happen before, and I've achieved results better than that before. But I know what that would feel like for you guys as well, to go 8,600 leads in a day. Like, I mean, that's crazy, right? Because when it first happened to me, I was just like, the world's fucking raining, right? So those things are extremely exciting, and you can see the simplicity in which we're able to achieve those leads. There are a number of facets, obviously, that make that up, you know, a good brand, a good initial strategy, because ultimately that's really what it's about, right? It's exciting to go, yay, 8,600 leads, but it's like, how many do we convert of those into sales? And that'll come over the next week, 2 week period as well. So that's a massive highlight.